It is time to grab your dose of compassion, share your story, and solve your anxiety and depression. Welcome to Keep Calm in a Crazy World with your host, Jodi Amon.
Hey everyone, it's Jodi here. How is everyone this evening? Monday night at 6. This is our time together. Every Monday at 6, I'm right here live on Facebook. I have a different topic for you every week, and this week it's how what you think influences how you feel and how to be happy. Because that's basically all we really want, no matter what's going on in our life. All the negative. And the negative could take its place. Could take different ways. Hi, Nikki. Negative can be expressed in your life in a lot of different ways. But basically, we want to know how to get rid of any of those ways, no matter how they come into your life, right? If they're anxiety, if they're anger, if they're bitterness, if they're, just hurt and betrayal, if there's deep, deep sadness, loss, whatever it is, whatever way that stress and that pain comes into your life, we want to be able to get rid of it. And I'm working on a new book. I'm so excited about it, but I'm thinking about this a lot today because I was writing this section about the way we make meaning in our life, like how we make meaning around everything that happens to us. And this is the biggest source of our suffering because as humans, we're meaning makers. We understand the world by processing it. Hi, road trip. By processing it, right? So we have an experience and then we process it and we decide what that means. Someone speeds by, they're crazy. We drop something and break it. Oh, darn, we're going to be late now. We got to clean it up. Or we lost that precious vase or whatever, right? So we kind of create some kind of meaning around it. And when it's cut and dry, it's a little bit easier. It's like, yes, I don't have water. I have to go get some, right? So there's every single little tiny thing. Most of it's benign and not really that important, and you don't really think about it too much. But we are making meaning around everything that we do. Hi, Helene. And so this is quite biased, though, this meaning. It's not, we think of it actually as it's pretty obvious, like no water means I got to get some more water. Some of those are pretty obvious, but a lot of them are biased on how we've experienced the world in our past. If people have been mean to us, if we got the short end of the stick, if people have told us we're worthless, we kind of put those meanings and those identities that they create on as glasses, and we see the world that way. So, if you think that you're always the one left out, you will see everything in your life like that. Like everything that you see and is happening, you'd see it through those glasses. And you ever hear of the rose-colored glasses? When people think the world is rosy and the world is perfect, they do experience the world that way a little bit more. They're not just lucky people. They're seeing what they experience. They're experiencing what they believe already. So let me tell you a story. Because I love this story. Oops, I hit the thing. Okay. So a man's walking to a village and stops by, and there's another man who is tending his farm. And so he's walking down one road between villages. And the one man comes by and he says to the farmer, he says, "Is there a village up yonder?" And the farmer says, "Yes, there is. There's a village up yonder." And he says, Hi, Kevin. He says, "How are the people up in the village? Are they nice kind of people?" And so the farmer says, "What were the people like in your last village?" And he said, "They're really mean. They're horrible, greedy, terrible people." And so the farmer says, "I expect you'll find the next people the same way." And then another man comes by and he asks the farmer, "Is there a village up ahead?" And the farmer says, "Yep, there's a village up ahead." And the man says, "How are the people in that village? Are they nice people?" And thanks for sharing. And the farmer says, "Well, how are people in the last village that you were in?" And the man said, "They were wonderful. They were most generous, giving, wonderful people that you'd ever meet." And he said, "Well, I'm happy to tell you the people in the next village are the same." right? So if you experience the world as people being awful, you could change villages, you'll still experience it because it's a reflection of your mind, right? So if you're judging yourself so harshly, all you'll experience is people judging you around you. And if you don't judge yourself and like yourself, you won't experience all these people judging you all the time. If anyone judges you because that's what they're up about, it wouldn't even bother you. You wouldn't even think of it barely because you're just too busy living and not stuck thinking about how you're inadequate and everyone might see. Do you know what I mean? So the way you think about yourself and the way you judge yourself is going to totally, hi Crystal, is going to totally affect how you feel. So if you experience the world as unfair, you will continue to see unfair things happen in your life and around everywhere. If you think of the world as amazing and miraculous, you will be out of the way and miracles will come to you. And so that is so important. And hi, Barbara. And so I wanted to talk about this because last week I talked a little more about faith and people loved it, especially Barbara, right, Barbara? And I was so excited about it because that is really who I am. You know, I'm a practical teacher and I teach a lot of practical stuff, but more and more I want to share my spiritual knowledge maybe or understandings that I've come to understand because I know it will really help people because I know how much it helped myself. So I'm in that headspace. Because first of all, I'm creating a program, an audio program, Happy Soul Messages, that is going to be audios of spiritual messages. And then also I have this retreat coming up at 1440. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to really go deep into the spiritual and we're going to heal you mind, body, and soul. I'm going to teach you how to be your own healer. So I'm in this headspace of thinking more about spirituality since I talked to Corinne last week. It was so awesome. So I wanted to talk about that again. Hi, Jose. Welcome, 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 everybody. Thanks so much for being here. But I wanted to talk about how, how we think and how we make meaning creates how we feel. And so the solution to that is also my formula for how to be happy. And maybe you heard this before because I do share it. But my formula is for how to be happy is 3 steps, right? There's 3 steps. And the first one, you can say it along with me if you know it already. But the first step to being happy is to get rid of the things in your life that you don't want, which is these meanings that are negative, these meanings that hurt us, these meanings that create more of those negativity things in our life. If you follow the Course in Miracles, and I know, that's not my audience necessarily. I don't teach the Course in Miracles. I'm a student of the Course. But everything is a reflection of our mind. Everything is happening in our mind, so we have total control of the world. That's the exciting part, is that we have total control of the world, and as we heal ourselves, we heal everyone around us. And so if we want to get rid of all the stuff that we don't want in our life, all the things that cause us pain, all the things that cause us problems, all the things that cause us hurt, we have to remove it from our mind and our understanding, that worry. If we believe we're vulnerable, then we're just going to keep experiencing life in our vulnerability. And that's what really cured me of my anxiety. Oh gosh, I was going to quote Marianne Williamson. Hi Barbara, I was going to quote Marianne Williamson. Yeah, absolutely. So Marianne Williamson said, the imagination is the womb to which a new world is created. And that's really exciting because the imagination, you could be safe in there. Yes, I know our imagination brings all the scary stuff, but you could use it in your favor. And if you knew you were trying something, attempting something in your imagination, you're safe trying it instead of out in the world. And that's how I like to help people. We start in our imagination. Okay, I digress though, but I was excited, Barbara, that you mentioned her. So if you believe that you're vulnerable, then you'll see your vulnerability in everything and see everybody's vulnerability in everything and really worry and really stress. So this is the thing that helped me with my anxiety totally, is that I started to understand myself as invulnerable. Instead of understanding myself as vulnerable. And I know Brene Brown talks about vulnerability and you have to accept your vulnerability. But in a way, and if I could see it this way, like your vulnerability, if you accept your vulnerability, it's only then you really could realize that you're not vulnerable, if that makes sense. I know this is stretching it a little bit because it's really philosophical here. But if you accept your vulnerability, you'll allow yourself to open up to the possibility that you're invulnerable. Like that you are a light and a soul, and you're connected with the source, and you're one with everything, right? You're not a separate being. It's that separation that's so scary and causes all our guilt and all of our anxiety. So if we knew we were connected and we were part of that oneness, you can't be vulnerable there, right? This world of form that we're experiencing, all this vulnerability and all this hurt feelings and all this kind of stuff, is a dream. And the reality is we are one and we're totally connected to all that there is. And once you believe that, you believe you're completely, totally, utterly invulnerable. And then you have control over the thing that means the most in your life, how you respond to everything, right? Because really anxiety and stress, all of those things make you feel out of control. Even sadness makes you feel out of control. Or even anger definitely makes you feel out of control, right? So that brings all our anxiety up anytime you feel out of control. If you knew you were invulnerable and you knew that you had 100% control over the one thing that matters